ויתאבל על בנו ימים רבים. Rashi brings the Gemara Megillah Daf Yud Zayin Amud Aleph. Yaakov had to pay 22 years of Avelos until he saw his son Yosef. Mido kенגד mido, the 22 years that he was not mechabed his parents. 22, how is that? Yosef was 30 years when he was taken from the bor and he stood לפני פרעה. He left Eretz Israel when he was 17, which means 1 year he worked for Potiphera, 10 years in jail, another 2 years in jail, that's 13 years. 17 and 13 is 30. Right away, 7 years of Soba, 2 years of hunger. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 plus 13 is 22. 22 years Yosef did not see his father. What's the cheshbon of 22 of Yaakov Avinu? That he was not mekayem kivud avohem. 20 years he worked the base Lovon. 2 years took him to travel. That's what Yaakov said. Ze li esrim shono. I'm going to get punished for this 20 years. That's what Rashi brings down. The Marsho Azakashe, he worked 14 years for his wives, and 6 years he worked for his son. So why should he be punished for those 14 years? That was mitzvahs kibud av. Vo'em also, both his father and his mother told him to go get a wife. So why did he get punished for those years? This is the Marsho's kashe. One of the terutzim they give, Yaakov should have get married to Rochel right away. He should not propose himself to work for 7 years for Rochel. Why did he ask for 7 years he's going to work for Rochel? He should be somech on the birchas oviv, and he should get married right away. He was nirshal by saying, I'm giving myself 7 years for that shidduch. He should not have said that. It's a pshia. Another teretz, al pi agemore en bo vekamo en bo bebasero. Bo vekamo davcho, bo bebasero av tzadik. Hamaki veschaveru misholosh ruchoisov. If somebody put a wall around the chotzer of his chaver, around his 3 walls, he is not allowed to ask for any cost of the walls. He doesn't have to be mishtatef, even though he has hanof on those 3 walls. But if the nikev, the person who has the chotzer, goes and he builds the 4th wall, now he has to pay for the hoitzos of the 3 walls that he had before. He was megaledas that he is happy with those 3 walls. Kolzman, he did not build the 4th wall. You cannot force him to pay for the 3 walls. He can say, I don't need those walls. Now that he built the 4th wall, he has to be mishtatef in the hoitzos of all the 3 walls built before. So the Gerrer Rebbe wants to say the same thing is with Yaakov Avinu. The fact that he stayed extra 6 years to make business, shelo l'shem nisuim, not to get married, he was already married, shows that he would stay over there without the mitzvahs kivud avehem. It's not there because of the kivud avehem, he's there for a different reason. It's nechshav to him all the years that he was there, that he was not mekayem the mitzvahs kivud avehem. Another answer says the Gerrer Rebbe in Toros Chosha the Pnei Menachem. The Gemara Masech the Makes Daf Hey in the Mishnah Mishalshelim b'momon ve'en mishalshelim b'makes. The Eidim Zoymimim, they divide how much money they wanted to be mechayev, 50 and 50. But makes, they get the full amount of makes. What's the difference between momon and makes? Let's say they want to be mechayev 30 makes. If you give the Eidim 15 and 15, the pain of 15 is not equal to the pain of 30. After 15, the pain doubles, accumulates. Memelo en meshalshelim b'makes. Can divide makes between the Eidim. It's not fair. It's not what they wanted to do. They wanted to give him the pain of 30, not the pain of 15. That's the hezbollah from the base Halevi. With this, the Gerrer Rebbe wants to say the same thing is with the tsar of kivud avehem that accumulated 14 plus 6 plus 2 is 22. Eno doime, the tsar of 14 years and the tsar of 22 years. Therefore, Yosef had to be taken away from his father for 22 years, despite that 14 of those years Yaakov Avinu did kivud av vo'em. If you look at the Meforshim, you see these parshas, there are no mistakes whatsoever. We learn halachos, dinim, from the shvotim. Somebody said a moshel, if the Vilna Gaon would paskin the halacha that the brothers should sell a child against the parents' will. Even though we don't understand, we take for granted that the Vilna Gaon knows what he's doing. Al-achas kamo v'kamo b'no shel kal b'chomer shiftei ko. Everything was with a cheshbon. There was no mistakes. It's for us to figure out what do we learn from it, what halachas, what does the Torah wants us to know. They say a story from Reb Chaim Kanievsky, an older bocher, a Bal Tshuva. He came over to him and he says he cannot find a shidduch. He tries and tries, he cannot find a shidduch. What should he do? Reb Chaim Kanievsky said, your shidduch has not been born yet. And he gave him a brocha. A few months later, he comes to Reb Chaim Kanievsky, Mazel Tov, he got engaged. He got engaged to a giyoris that recently she became a giyoris. Ger she toval ke koton she noilot. That's what Rabbi Chaim meant to say. Your shidduch was not born yet. We don't understand what was going on between the shvotim, but if we look in the Meforshim, in the Rishonim, and the Achronim. There's lots to learn from it. Ayelcho doisaino, the Gemara says, Chazal bring down, Rashi brings it down. Al pi das toiro, das shel toiro, doisaino, like the Meforshim explain. There's a day that when they sold Yosef, they were mefalfel with him al pi alocho, how you're allowed to sell without being over. Vayeshvu lecho lechem, they sat down to eat lechem because they made asiyum mesechtes on all the halachos that they learned with Yosef. Everything was al pi halocho kedas ukedin. Now why didn't Yosef send shluchim to his father? He was 9 years free in Mitzrayim as a melech. He did not send shluchim or letters to his father. That he knew because Yaakov Avinu also knew that he has to suffer for at least 22 years. The Chaloimes also showed them. The last 17 years, Yaakov lived in Mitzrayim with his son Yosef, בכבוד מלוכים. אתם הדבקים בשם אלוקיכם חיים כולכם היום.